Lassiter Factor.
What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? It's your boy Bangful B of the Lassiter Factor, and today we're going to talk about Wolfman, which was released in theaters over the weekend, and I went to go see it, so let's review. So, Wolfman is the latest Universal monster movie that is produced by Blumhouse, and it is directed by Leigh Whannell, who directed The Invisible Man, which is another Universal monster movie. And it's about, you guessed it, the Wolfman, in which we follow a man and his family. They get stuck in the woods. They go visit his father's old house. They collect his things, but then he starts turning into, you guessed it, the Wolfman. And we see this family deal with that and see how it's changing and seeing how it's affecting him and his family. Now, I did go back and rewatch The Invisible Man from 2020. I believe it was one of my favorite films of that year. Check out my review, it's on my page. But long story short, I enjoyed that film. There's some things that stood up to me about that movie that didn't stand out back when I first watched it and kind of brought the movie down for me. But overall, I like this movie. And now here we are with Wolfman and see what they do with this new take on the character. And Blumhouse, he's had some missteps over the past couple of years, but overall, I like what he does. But now that I've seen Wolfman, how do I feel? I'm kind of split on it. I think there are some things that I think this movie did well and some things that kind of brought the movie down for me. To me, this movie is kind of like The Fly with Jeff Goldblum in the sense that you have someone that he is changing. We're just seeing the decline of him, and I felt this movie did that excellently. And I think this movie also has something to say about generational trauma because he's dealing with some trauma of how his dad raised him, and he's trying his best not to become him, and he's trying not to repeat those same mistakes with his daughter. And that's kind of manifesting into him changing into a werewolf. I also like how this movie presents him changing. It kind of reminds me of American Werewolf in London and how they changed him in that movie and how that also kind of extended into Michael Jackson's Thriller because the Rick Baker, I believe that's the man that did the practical effects in them changing into werewolves into those two things. That kind of reminded me of what they did here. Some other cool things they did with him changing is how the more he changes, the more like he just can't understand his wife and daughter. And how his wife and daughter they can't understand him, and it's just creating that divide between between the three of them. But I will say this movie doesn't really have no emphasis on him being a wolfman, which I kind of wish this movie would kind of have more emphasis on. This movie more so focuses on him just progressively changing into a werewolf. And given how it takes place in the dark, at night, in the woods, the movie is just too dark at times. And also the pacing of this movie, it also kind of brought the movie down for me, particularly in the middle section, because once they get to this cabin, that's where most of the movie takes place. But aside from that, I thought the acting was pretty solid. You have Christopher Abbott, who plays Blake Lovell, who is the Wolfman. He's the one changing, and like I said, this movie has something to say about generational trauma and how he's trying not to repeat the same mistakes of his father. And then you have Julia Garner, who I remember, who played Ruth in Ozark, and well, it's nice to hear her not have a southern accent. But she's not really given but so much to do in this movie other than be a concerned mother and be scared. And she even alludes to how she's trying to connect with her daughter and how the dad has more of a relationship with the daughter more than she does. And I wish the movie would kind of have more emphasis on that. And Matilda Firth, who plays Ginger, the daughter in this movie, I thought she did an excellent job too as far as the acting goes. There were some things in this movie that I did like and admire, and then there's just some things that I wish they kind of did a better job on. But overall, it's all up to you whether or not you vibe with this movie or not. But for me, I'm gonna give Wolfman the shoulder shrug emoji. Thank y'all so much for watching. Have you seen Wolfman? If so, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And also, I think I prefer Invisible Man over this movie. But tell me what you think. Do you like this movie more, or do you like Invisible Man more? Which one did you think was better? Yeah, this your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.